Section 7 of Celtic Folk and Fairy Tales. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recording by klbonds. Celtic Folk and Fairy Tales, edited by Joseph Jacobs. Section 7, The Shepherd of Myddvai. Up in the Black Mountains, in Carmarthenshire, lies the lake known as Llyn y Fanfach. To the margins of this lake the shepherd of Myddvai once took his lambs, and lay there whilst they sought pasture. Suddenly, from the dark waters of the lake, he saw three maidens rise. Shaking the bright drops from their hair and gliding to the shore, they wandered amongst his flock. They had more than mortal beauty, and he was filled with love for her that came nearest to him. He offered her the bread he had with him. She took it and tried it, but then sang to him, "Hard baked is thy bread, 'tis not easy to catch me," and then ran off laughing to the lake. The next day he took with him bread not so well done, and watched for the maidens. When they came ashore, he offered his bread as before, and the maiden tasted it and sang, "Unbaked is thy bread, I will not have thee," and again disappeared in the waves. A third time did the shepherd of Myddvai try to attract the maiden, and this time he offered bread that he had found floating about near the shore. This pleased her, and she promised to become his wife if he were able to pick her out among her sisters on the following day. When the time came, the shepherd knew his love by the strap of her sandal. Then she told him she would be a good wife to him as any earthly maiden could be, unless he should strike her 3 times without cause. Of course, he deemed that this would never be, and she summoned from the lake 3 cows, 2 oxen, and a bull as her marriage portion, and was led homeward by him as his bride. The years passed happily, and 3 children were born to the shepherd and the lake maiden. But one day they were going to a christening, and she said to her husband it was far to walk. So he told her to go for the horses. "I will," said she, "if you bring me my gloves, which I've left in the house." When he came back with the gloves, he found she had not gone for the horses. So he tapped her lightly on the shoulder with the gloves and said, "Go, go." "That's one," said she. Another time they were at a wedding, when suddenly the lake maiden fell a sobbing and a weeping amid the joy and mirth of all around her. Her husband tapped her on the shoulder and asked, "Why do you weep?" "Because they are entering into trouble, and trouble is upon you, for that is the 2nd causeless blow you have given me. Be careful, the 3rd is the last." The husband was very careful never to strike her, but one day at a funeral she suddenly burst out into fits of laughter. Her husband forgot and touched her rather roughly on the shoulder, saying, "Is this a time for laughter?" "I laugh," she said, "because those that die go out of trouble. But your trouble has come. The last blow has been struck. Our marriage is at an end, and so farewell." And with that she rose up and left the house and went to their home. Then she, looking round upon her home, called to the cattle she had brought with her, "Brindle cow, white speckled, spotted cow, bold freckled, old whiteface and gray Geringer, and the white bull from the king's coast, gray ox and black calf, all, follow me home." Now the black calf had just been slaughtered and was hanging on the hook, but it got off the hook alive and well and followed her, and the oxen, though they were plowing, trailed the plow with them and did her bidding. So she fled to the lake again. They followed her, and with them plunged into the dark waters. And to this day is the furrow seen which the plough left as it was dragged across the mountains to the tarn. Only once did she come again, when her sons were grown to manhood, and then she gave them gifts of healing, by which they won the name Myddvai, the physicians of Myddvai. End of section 7. Recording by klbonds.